A one-page cartoon. Save the world. Get real money. Today, we have a convergence of crises, economic, ecological, and geopolitical. The world is at the brink of an existential precipice. The time has come for transformational change. What will it take for the human species to pull this off? How shall we collaborate to do this? What do we need to know to dismantle the pillars of power and supplant them with a fair, just, and sustainable system that supports people, planet, and people? As we shall see, it's all about the money. Our nation's monetary system has been privatized. It's a privately controlled for-profit system overseen by the Federal Reserve, which is owned by its member commercial banks. It may come as a surprise to many that most of our money is actually created by commercial banks as interest-bearing debt in the process of making loans. The U.S. Treasury creates only paper money and coins. The bulk of our money is digital bank money, is in fact rented to us, the rent being the interest on the loans. The interest compounds to demand an ever-growing return on investment, forming the basis for our debt and trapped economy. Under this system, we are robbed every time we spend a dollar. On average, 50% of the prices we pay for goods and services goes to capital cost, the interest going to the banks. It is the power to create money in the hands of those whose only interest is in maximizing profits for themselves that is behind every issue we face today. From wealth disparity to the climate emergency, money and power concentrates at the top, where it is used to manipulate geopolitics, the economy, and public policy. This system prioritizes generating wealth over solving problems because solving problems is not profitable. Their owners are our unelected government. This corrupt, predatory system drives war, global debt, and environmental destruction just to satisfy its economic growth imperative. By contrast, Greens propose the historically proven solution of publicly issued money exclusively dedicated to public purpose. The Continentals that funded the American Revolution and the Greenbacks that sustained the Northern victory in the Civil War were debt-free, publicly issued money. Money is power and is the governing factor intended to fulfill the constitutional mandate expressed in the preamble. Let's take a closer look at this crowd of concerned citizens. On the left, we see a man protesting never-ending war. Then a Black Lives Matter person calling out racism. Then a student trapped in debt slavery, and an Extinction Rebellion youth warning of climate collapse. The guys on the right are demanding solutions. Occupy the Fed, says one sign. Another says, move to amend. That is to say, move to amend the Constitution to say corporations aren't people and money is not speech. And the guy on the right wearing the Green Party t-shirt holds a sign that says, pass the NEED Act, which we'll learn about in a moment. At the center of the convergence, a woman reminds everyone, it's all about the money, honey, the bottom line behind our converging crisis. Our very distraught citizen is back again, sounding the alarm. Our money system has been hijacked, privatized by a criminal banking cartel. They own it. They own us. This bearded sage makes a pithy observation. Any government that does not control its money is controlled by those who do and is an oligarchy, not a democracy. Reporting from the front lines, a polar bear informs us. Now bankers run the show for power and profit, a finger in every pie, a deep state, a fraud on the world, wreaking havoc on people, peace, and planet. Here, two fingers point to an explanation framed by dollar signs. Since the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, only banks can create money, not the government, as people believe. Banks make new money when they make loans, charging interest. It's money as a form of debt, now a global extortion racket. Just to be clear, this bank money is created out of thin air. It's not lent from deposits, as people believe. The banks don't actually have the money to lend. But with the Federal Reserve Act, they've hijacked the power to create it, and the interest harvested is their profit. Moving on down, we encounter the Federal Reserve spider. Here we find a restatement of how bankers' private debt money negatively affects everything. Compound interest on bankers' money demands exponential growth, making a claim on all resources, thus trashing the planet and debt enslaving us, dividing us, corrupting democracy, subverting free enterprise, war profiteering, propelling the world to the precipice. In other words, the debt spider wants to eat everything and turn it into money, entrapping us in its web of debt for life and leaving the world decimated. The banker's private debt money is a fundamental pillar of the power structure. Bankers' debt money is capitalism's mojo, the capital in capitalism, driving acquisition, exploitation, and domination, the tyranny of capital over the world. This system is wholly inadequate to maintain a healthy 21st century economy because it's designed for plunder, profit, and power. So what is to be done? The cartoon says to fix the crises, fix the money. Let's look at what that means. On the left, we have the Constitution, which gave we, the People's Congress, the sovereign power to create the money, debt-free for the general welfare. That can be found in the preamble and Article 1, Section 8. Here we have President Lincoln calling to democratize the money and pass the Need Act. Nobel Prize winner Frederick Soddy reminded us of this fundamental truth. Publicly issuing the money is the most vital prerogative of democratic self-governance. That's worth repeating. Publicly issuing the money is the most vital prerogative of democratic self-governance. The legislation to make this critical change has already been written and introduced into Congress. It's known as the Need Act and has three essential parts which must be implemented simultaneously. They are: 1, end bank creation of money; 2, bring the Fed into the Treasury; and 3, Congress creates and spends debt-free money into the economy for the general welfare. Thus, the Need Act reestablishes public money for the public good. The Need Act is the basis for the Green Party initiative called Greening the Dollar, which can be found in the platform, Section 4N. Bringing your attention back to President Lincoln for a moment, you'll notice he's holding a United States debt-free greenback dollar. As we alluded to in the introduction, rather than indebting the North to bankers during the Civil War, Lincoln issued sovereign government debt-free paper money called greenbacks to spark the economy, which was a major factor in the North's success. Unfortunately, Lincoln did not also stop the banks from creating their debt money, so they were eventually able to knock out the greenbacks. In the late 1800s, the populist parties called for the return of greenbacks, alas, to no avail. It is modern-day greenbacks we're calling for once again, but this time we know that all three elements identified in the Need Act must be implemented simultaneously. The Greening the Dollar The NEED Act was introduced into Congress in 2011 by Dennis Kucinich and John Conyers after several years of legal review. It is there waiting for us to educate and elect a fresh, honest People's Congress to pass the act. You can find more details on the Green Party's Banking and Monetary Reform Committee website, greensformonetaryreform.org. The bottom line is, until we fix the money, none of the existential crises converging upon us can be fixed. To be able to enact the Green Party's beautiful platform, or have a real Green New Deal, and be able to save the world, we, the people, must reclaim the money power and create real public money for the common good. Thank you.